Hello guys, how are we doing and welcome back to the channel. An absolutely exciting update is coming with Season 2 on Black Ops 6 Ranked Play, and we're going to be going through exactly how you will be impacted as a player going into Season 2 in 10 days time on the 28th of January. The gameplay we've got in the background is some Ranked Play gameplay, so if you like the look of it and you want some tips on how to improve Ranked Play, and this is your first video of my channel, feel free to check out the rest of the content down below, because it's all about improving yourself as a player. There's a few subjects we're going to be going through. They've got an update on the Ricochet anti-cheat, which has some exciting things in it. We've got an update on server stability, packet loss, and booting lobbies. And then we've got some actual updates on Ranked Play itself, what's coming to multiplayer on Black Ops 6, and new features that are really, really exciting coming actually to Ranked Play. So stick around to the end of the video because there's a jam-packed full amount of information here. As I say, I'm only going to be focusing on Ranked Play side of things. If you want to know more and you want to read the patch notes yourself or the blog update yourself, I'll leave a link to it down in the description below for you to check out whenever you feel like it, whether you want some bedtime reading, something like that. So as I say, we're going to kick it off with a Ricochet anti-cheat update. They're basically, the first bit basically says that they've seen an increase in people cheating in Call of Duty, and it's severely impacting the player experience of the community, which is fine. That's they've recognised it, they've acknowledged it, great. They then say these are the things that have put in system now. So before Season 2, these are what's in system now. And what this has done is essentially caused 136,000 Ranked Play bans to have happened since launch, which is actually a considerable amount of people. And considering we know they haven't caught everybody, that's a bloody lot of cheaters as well. That's ridiculous. They do say they've updated their detection models for behavioral systems, so they can they've updated the way they can notice aimbots, and they've included a hardware identifier to target serial cheaters, which is really, really nice. Which essentially means that if you've just created a new account but you're playing on the same PC to cheat, they know it will be the same PC you're using, and as a result, they'll just ban you instantly. They won't let you play. So that's a really nice way to get around people who are just creating a new Game Pass account, for example, just to cheat again and again and again and again. They've also increased the or reduced the time it takes to action accounts, which is really nice. That's something we've will help. Obviously, it needs to be detected first, but that's something that will help and benefit us as the community. And then interestingly, they do then say they've got a new detection and warning system for spam reporting by accounts. Now, what they do say here, you can read it down below yourself, but what they do say is that
we don't have the reserve.
You cannot be shadow banned, or you cannot be put into the shadow realm, whatever you want to call it, by spam reporting. And there are tools out there that can do an instant 10,000 spam reports on players. And although the cheating software and the people selling the cheats, the actual hackers themselves, have said that that's a way that you can actively shadow ban. It's basically a shadow ban button where you just 10,000 spam reports on an account. Treyarch have announced that that is not the case. That's not how it works. It's only a single report that impacts you per account. But it's nice that they're trying to tackle spam reporting. I think that's an important thing to do so that you can really cleanse out the amount of reports that their AI system or whatever it is runs through, and the amount of accounts it has to run through. And that's I think that's going to be a nice improvement. And then interestingly, what they do say here is that they've got a new detection and warning system for repeat playing with cheaters' behavior. So when a cheat is banned, the system will detect other accounts it had regularly played with in the career of Ranked Play, and raise flags for investigation to combat boosting and other cheater behavior. Really, really, really nice bits here, and that's all in place currently. And for those of you who are like, oh, it's cheating, it's not going to have been better, I have to categorically say my last week of Ranked Play, I've come across barely any cheaters, which is a drastic contrast between what it was prior to that. So I think these things are working. It's not perfect, but I think it's definitely had an impact, a positive impact in my experience as an iridescent player. So I'm hoping that's followed through to every other user experience. Obviously, I'm in the European server. It's going to differ on server, but I've seen this work. Okay, I've seen the impact of this, and I'm a happy customer from what they've done. And it's nice to see that they're actually taking into account things people are saying and listening and providing feedback regularly, like they're doing here. They've then said about people are saying, why can't you IP ban them? Okay, and the reason for that is what they're saying is, if I was a cheater in a university campus, a college campus, for example, If they were to IP ban that cheater, nobody in that whole university campus is going to be able to play Call of Duty because they've been IP banned, which is why they're staying with that hardware ban and hardware identifier rather than IP ban, which I think is a fair reasoning, okay? And I think that's a good enough excuse, I think, not to do that sort of ban, especially if they've got an alternative in that hardware IP, that hardware ID ban. So that's what's in store already. Obviously, I want to hear your thoughts about everything on this video. There's a lot of things to cover, and you know, your opinion is as valid as anyone else's, of course. You are players of the game. Coming in Season 2, we've got an improved client-side detections and systems, major kernel-level driver update to improve driver security and reinforce the encryption process, and a new tampering detection system. And essentially, all that means is when the cheats try to get around the anti-cheat and try and hide themselves from the anti-cheat, what they bring in Season 2 is going to sort of stop that and mitigate that from happening, which is really, really important. And then Season 3 and beyond, which you're probably thinking, it's a bloody long way away. Why are we waiting for things in Season 3 that we know about now? And the reason for that is they've got a brand new system to authenticate legitimate players, i.e. whitelist, I guess, players, and target cheaters. And this is really, really nice. It's a brand new system that's going to hopefully bring a lot of new ways to identify players, you know, make sure players are legitimate. And the fact it's a brand new system is why it's taken so long, because it's, you know, it's developing a whole new system essentially. That's not going to be a quick one-night job. That's going to take a while, and that's why we're going to wait probably a couple of months until that is implemented. And that's pretty much it as far as Ricochet is concerned. For me, the stuff they're currently doing seems to have worked within the past week or so, and I absolutely love that they're hearing us. Okay, that's a really important thing I think I want to highlight, that is that they are hearing us. We aren't alone out here, and it's absolutely fine. The next thing they touch on is server stability, packet loss, and lobby crashing. They've seen the community say an increased report of rubber banding, the packet loss buttons, and server disconnects in recent weeks, especially in ranked play, and in certain regions where some players may not have access to as many servers as others. So those who, you know, who are out in an island somewhere, I don't know where, are having these stability issues, and they're aware of that. They've also been monitoring match activity closely, identifying suspicious accounts that appear to have multiple crashed lobbies. So this is where people can boot a lobby, where they're not quite aimbotting or wall hacking or anything like that, but when they lose the game, they are booting the lobby so they don't get any SR loss, and, you know, it's almost as if the game has never happened. And they're looking into players who have had that happen over and over again to look for suspicious activity. And essentially what they're saying here is they've narrowed down some specific causes of these issues that can affect all players, and improvements have been made on the Call of Duty side of things within the last week or so to stop people from being able to boot these servers. And I think I've noticed again within the last week or so of playing, because it was rife, it was really, really bad. Every other loss, you'd have someone boot the server, boot the lobby. It hasn't happened in the past week. So what they've done there has clearly worked, and I'm super pleased that that is something they've thought about. They're then obviously going on to say the team has also solved issues surrounding server issues in regions that had recently experienced instability, and will continue to act quickly to resolve these as they pop up. And as I say, Call of Duty teams will continue to keep a close eye on performance and make adjustments as necessary to deliver the best possible player experience. So again, Ricochet, the server loss thing, they're hearing us, they're trying to fix it, and they're trying to work the way around the best way of dealing with that issue. So they're the things that I sort of didn't want this video to be focused on, but that's a really important update I felt like I needed to share. We're now going to be going into things that affect ranked play directly. For the standard Joe who jumps into ranked play, this is how the game is going to look come Season 2 and beyond. The first thing which is really exciting and is a real nice quality of life change is that they've reduced the collision with other players to improve maneuverability around tight spaces and doorways with nearby teammates. There was nothing worse than being lined up for a really nice shot. You've got a really tight angle and your teammate has come next to you and nudged your aim along. That has now sort of been reduced. Okay, that's a real nice quality of life, and I think that's a real massive improvement, which is going to stop a lot of raging, especially on my end. They've then got some other gameplay quality of life updates. They've got a weapon balance pass they're going to bring to Season 2, which I'm going to do a further details on when they release the patch notes, similar to what I did last time. They've got bullet penetration updates. There's probably a couple of bullet penetration cheese spots, like the one from P4 to the bathtub, P3 to P4 on Skyline, for example, or through the wooden door to the A-bomb Skyline. Essentially, they're trying to change the bullet penetration, and whether it's the actual gun bullet penetration or the paper-like walls. I'm not sure, but that's what they're going to touch on. And then they then say they're going to further reduce the weapon motion when jumping, sliding, and diving with dexterity perks. They're buffing that dexterity perk so it becomes more of a viable option for people who like to maneuver around the map more. And depending on how drastic it is between now and Season 2 is going to change. It's going to change people's maybe their first perk. Maybe they won't run flak and ninja. Maybe they'll run dexterity ninja, or maybe ninja flak and dexterity instead of ninja. You know, it's going to be another option for those more aggressive, fast-paced players if it's that much better than not running dexterity. Now, there's some new features we've had from Ranked Play, and one is going to be great for those of you who are console gamers. They've heard the feedback from players about wanting to choice to toggle crossplay in Ranked Play, and essentially, in short, in Season 2, they are enabling the ability to disable crossplay for console players who want to compete only against other console players. Love it. That's great. That's something that console players have been asked for over and over and over again, because the amount of cheaters that they're coming across on PC. And I think that's a real nice fix for those of you who are on console who don't want to play against PC players. They are then saying this is currently in testing and is planned to go live for both Black Ops 6 Ranked Play and Warzone in Ranked Play during Season 2. Not at the start. But we'll be monitoring closely and considering further changes to prioritise the integrity of the ecosystem. We'll have more details to share as we get closer to the launch of this feature. Now, the reason, probably some of you don't understand, like, the fact that the integrity of the ecosystem, blah, 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 blah. The reason they're saying that it does affect the integrity of the ecosystem being able to disable crossplay is because people will be playing, when you look at the top 250, in your head, that's the best top 250 players in the world. Okay, they've probably competed against each other at some point or another, but they're on the same playing field, and they're the top 250 players in the world. When you introduce an Xbox-only server, for example, or a PlayStation-only server, and they're hitting that top 250, that top 250 is no longer a good representation of the people who have grinded the most and are the best in the game. And I think the only way to fix that, if they want to keep crossplay disabled as an option, is Xbox or console top 250 and a PC top 250. I think that's the best way to keep the competitive integrity in that top 250 leaderboard, because you're going to have, if people are playing Xbox only servers, you're going to have those in the top 250 that have never played anyone else in the top 250 that aren't on Xbox, you know, so that does obviously hinder the importance of being in that top 250. It's probably going to make it easier to get into the top 250 for some. So I see why that is the case, but a simple thing would be, as I say, to have an input-based leaderboard or a console/PC-based leaderboard. I think that'd be a really nice addition. They're also bringing in the vote to forfeit feature. That's coming at the Season 2 launch, which allows players to vote for their team to end a match early if the team is getting blown out or you've lost a teammate. So if you know the game is in no winning state, you can vote to forfeit. You won't lose an SR. You will lose SR for the loss, but it won't be as if you backed out and you lost 50 SR or 150 SR. You will just lose the amount of SR you would have for the loss anyway, so minus 30, whatever it would be. But it saves you wasting time against people that you know you're not going to win against. And it's a real nice feature, which I hoped was coming earlier, but it's nice we get to see it now. We then have the ability to rejoin matches is also planned later in Season 2, which is absolutely massive. It's nice to play Warzone or another Battle Royale like Apex Legends, for example. When you leave in Ranked Play by accident or you get disconnected, you can join back and you do have the option to join back, and that's a really nice addition to see in a multiplayer Ranked Play game. It should help ensure fuller teams in matches and player experience after a disconnect, and I think that's a really nice addition they've added to the game, and I think that's gonna, again, these things that I've just said about Ranked Play are real nice quality of life issues that we've asked for years after years after years, but we just haven't seen it happen. It's finally going to be here in some point in Season 2. They then obviously say they touch on rewards, including camos and a Jackal blueprint and a decal for 100 wins, blah 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 blah. But that's most of the gubbins. As I say, if you wanna read the full detail of this blog post, the link to it will be down in the description below. But I want to hear your feedback. What are your thoughts on the updates that's coming with Black Ops 6 Season 2 and beyond? Let me know down in the comments. That'll do from me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.
Take a beat. Secure it, B. Take a Bravo underway. Enemy You're contesting Zone B. MTC's in the red. It's now or never. Controlling Bravo. Watch your back. We're low on live. The enemy's low on live. Taking Bravo underway. Controlling Bravo. Falling back. Hell of a show today, Black Ops.
Very